Okay, so one of the major problems recently in audio technology with the new Macs and stuff like that, everything is going to USB-C or Thunderbolt 3. That's the same thing, right?
It's not quite the same thing. They share the same port, but Thunderbolt 3 gives you 40 gigabits, and it's compatible with USB 3. USB Type-C is just USB Type-C. But
Okay, so you got the same port for both of those things, though, and that's really all they give you on the new Macs. So the connectivity is a problem for people that have devices they have to hook up that have the normal Thunderbolt connection or USB connections when the computer doesn't give you that anymore. So the solution for that is
we get our Thunderbolt 3 dock, and this is the one cable to your Mac or PC, Thunderbolt 3, and it gives you 5 USB ports. It gives you Ethernet. It gives you mini display ports, so you can connect HDMI or VGA or DVI or DisplayPort. This DP++, which is very important because this natively supports those. It doesn't require an active adapter. You know, things need to work, and this makes it really simple for everything to work. You have audio out. You have digital audio out. SP diff in the back. You want to do digital. Even supports FireWire because there's still a lot of folks with FireWire legacy stuff. That's there's still demand. So all these great ports in the back. On the front, you got an SDHC readers. You got media from different devices. Great way to bring it in because the new Macs don't even have a reader anymore, which kind of surprising, disappointing.
Crazy.
I mean, it's pretty.
It's not obsolete at all right now.
Let's not go there. It's like
Yeah.
they got such applause when they added that port, back in 2010,
Right.
and I was like, whoa. And I'll be honest with you, I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. Everybody, that was huge news. I was like, really, a little port being added? That was huge news because it makes such a difference, and now it's gone. Well, it's back with our dock. And then, of course, on the front, got another USB ports, makes it easy to plug in. You got one of our mini drives, you got another USB flash drive, whatever you need to do on the front, we got you covered. But the really cool thing is, this is the kind of gig, first of all, it's portable. It can go with you. But whether you're in the field or you got one at the office, you got one at home, got one in your studio, one cable, you sit down, you plug it into your computer, and not only does it give you that connectivity to all those devices you can have already set up, but also powers your laptop too. So you don't need another adapter. One cable does it all, and that's the power of Thunderbolt. So
Now, Thunderbolt is what implements the power delivery, yeah?
Thunderbolt gives you, part of the Thunderbolt standard includes that power delivery. USB Type-C also will do power delivery. But what Thunderbolt gives you is 40 gigabits of really an enterprise level interface. USB is great for, it's 10 gigabits and it's okay, but when you need it to work and you really need that performance bandwidth, this is a PCI Direct, this is basically like having a PCI device, inside your computer, except for it's not.
Right. Okay. So now, in layman's terms, when you look at something like this, you say, okay, well, I'm plugging one cable into this, and I'm plugging like a million cables out of this, right? So one cable goes to the computer, and all of this stuff goes to it. So it seems like this is going to bottleneck your system. It seems like you're going to plug all that stuff in there, and it's going to make it slower, right? Is that the case?
Not at all, and that might be the assumption, but the bottom line is the bandwidth that we have available. First off, the biggest issue is making sure that everything that we put on this has got the right pipes in the Thunderbolt so you get the full performance from those ports. And it was kind of cool. Our first Thunderbolt dock, we put it out there, and the first folks that were really raving about it were people who needed to do multi-camera streaming. They were doing podcasts, video casts, or they had multiple audio channels they were inputting. And other docks that we took about an extra year to bring our dock to market because we just didn't like some of the initial things that we were looking at. We wanted something to be better. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't just about having the ports, it was about being able to use the ports.
Right.
And we weren't even even thinking about these folks. This is just in general. To us, it's common sense. If you got the bandwidth behind it, you got to be able to use it. Yeah. You got a big engine, but then you got little tires, little skinny tires that don't let the car go anywhere. You just smoke in place. That's the specs look great, but when you put it on the road, it doesn't go. Yeah. So the first guys that loved us were the guys that had all these multi-streaming requirements because they said, my gosh, we can plug in 4 devices, 5 USB devices, all streaming, and it can handle it. Yeah. It's all rolling. There's no stuttering. There's no dropping. It can actually do it. And everybody else, they had the ports, but not the power.
So a Thunderbolt connection has how much bandwidth?
You got a total of 40 gigabits, including 12 gigabits that are set aside for display. So
okay, all right. So one of these USBs requires how much?
Up to 5 gigabits. So but the bottom line is distributed across, you got plenty of horsepower from Thunderbolt to connect all those devices, get the speed from all those devices, have Ethernet, have display connected, have your audio connected, 5 USBs cranking it, you can rate little USB drives if you really want to on it. But the bottom line is you got the cameras, you got the audio inputs, you got the video streams, whatever it may be. This is one device that can handle it. I mean, this is your gateway into that system with one simple cable.
And it's not going to slow down your system one bit.
It doesn't slow down your system at all. Your systems with Thunderbolt are designed for it. USB has a processor overhead. Thunderbolt is PCI Direct. It is straight interface. There is not an overhead.
It really is like having a hard PCI connection.
It's exactly what it is. I mean, to really get into the weeds, Thunderbolt gives you 4 PCIe lanes. You have straight PCIe lanes into the system that we're connecting all these great devices with.
Gotcha. There it is.